तत्कर्मयन्न बंधाय सा विद्याया विमुक्ते आयासाया परम कर्म विद्यान्या शिल्प नैपुणम. This Vishnu Purana shlok explains what Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal wants to do in the field of education. Basically, what we are trying to re-establish is the Bharatiya paradigm of learning. The Bharatiya paradigm of understanding life. Bharatiya Jivana Drishti is what is missing today in the field of education. Though it is there in the society, though it is being practiced by the society at large, and more so by those whom we call uneducated, they practice this vision of life, this Jivana Drishti, in their daily practices, simple practices like giving water to Tulsi, or putting aside the first part of their food, may it be roti or whatever, chapati, for cow. This is happening in lakhs and lakhs and crores of Hindu families, Sanatani families all over the country today. But it is not part of the system. It is not there in the system. In the system of governance, in the system of education. So dharma sanstapana, or establishing the dharma, is basically bringing it back into the system. It is not lost. It is neither forgotten by the society. The society does not only remember it, does not only preach it, but in fact practices it. That is the most important part of the whole movement that we are trying to establish in the field of education. Hence, I particularly avoid past tense while talking about Bharatiya Sanskriti or Bharatiya Dharma. I feel it is not in the past. I feel it is actually present. Hence, when in the month of January or February first week, I got an invitation from Indic Academy to participate in the seminar on rituals, I was thrilled. This journey of thousands of years of struggle, during this journey, when we had invaders from all over the world, invading this beautiful Punya Bhumi, this land, Bharat Mata, and we have been struggling to keep this Sanatana Dharma in practice live. During all this struggle, what has helped most at the individual level for every Sanatani to remain a Sanatani, not to convert in spite of fear, in spite of deadly situations, in spite of so much of incentives to convert, the Dharmis or the Sanatanis have even today remained Sanatani, and the Sanatana Dharma or the Hindu Dharma is not only just surviving, not only just existing, but is winning, but is glorious and victorious all over the world. Even after so much struggle, even after almost 1,000 years of continuous struggle and unparalleled, unprecedented atrocities. Will Durant says that the genocide that happened from Taimur to Aurangzeb, within those few years, not even 100 years, within those 89 years, the kind of genocide that happened in this country is unparalleled in the history of civilization all over the world. By an estimate by the same historian Will Durant, almost 30 lakh, 3 million temples were destroyed, burned down. We all know the story of Nalanda, Takshashila, and how these big universities and big centers of learning were destroyed, burnt down. We decentralized. We went everywhere. Every village had a Gurukul, had a Pathshala. Every house of a Brahmin, every house of a Guru became a Gurukula. And we kept this Sanatana alive because it is Sanatana, eternal. And in that journey, in that struggle, what has been the most important aid, what has been the most important instrument of Sanatana Dharma has been its Karma Kanda, the Kalpa Vedanga. This beautiful technology of converting the eternal values, the Siddhanta Paksha, into daily practice. Why this is Sanatana? Because this is a place where it is not philosophy, it is darshana. And it is not just the translation or change of language. It is the basically change of looking at it. It's a change of point of view. Darshana is a totally different point of view from what they call philosophy. Darshana is related to drishti, that is vision of life. How we look at ourselves and how we look at the world and how we look at the existence, how we look at the one behind this diverse existence. How we look at that one ultimate behind all this. That vision which was seen by the seers, Rishi, the Rishis who saw this Rita, was converted into theories, was converted into Siddhanta principles, very beautifully and logically explained through Shad Darshanas from different point of view, and very beautifully narrated through stories and parables, through Itihasa and Purana. But most importantly, all these were given permanence by institutionalizing the vision. The vision converted into Siddhanta theory, Drishti becomes Siddhanta, vision becomes theory, and that theory may be Advaita, Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Mimansaka, Vedanta, Shuddha Vedanta. Maybe thousands and thousands of theorization. Ruchinam Vaichitrat Rijikutulanana Patajusham Nranam Eko Gamya. The Shiva Mahimna said, Eko Gamya Tvamasi Payasam Aranava Iva. All these philosophies, all these ways of looking at the existence, this drishti, can be theorized into direct, straightforward or crooked ways. They may have their origin in different forms, but ultimately will reach the same. Ekam sat vipraha bahuda vadanti. So there were many theories, but all these theories were beautifully institutionalized by parampara. That is another word which cannot be translated. It's not tradition. It's not customs. Even the rituals is a very nearby translation of the real word karma kanda or kalpa. That is really the technology part of Sanatana Dharma, what we call rituals. The whole Siddhanta, Tyaga is a Siddhanta. Yajna is a way of performing that Tyaga. Tyagena ekena amrutatva manashuhu. That is the vision. The life will be sustained not by bhoga, but by Tyaga. Not by consumption, but by renunciation. That is the vision. Converted into a beautiful theory of Nanu Pravartitam Chakram, Bhagavad Gita says. The whole thing is created out of this beautiful concept of yajna. Saha yajna praja srishtva purovacha prajaprati anena prasavidhyashvam eshavostvishta kamadhu. Whatever may be your kamana desire, the way to fulfill that is renunciation, sacrifice, yajna. Now this beautiful concept of yajna is converted into a technology of ishti, a technology of homam, by beautiful scientific method, shastra, not vijnana. Vijnana is different, totally different in Bharatiya perspective. Science should not be translated as vijnana in Bharatiya languages. Science is shastra. So the Shastras converted this beautiful theory, Siddhanta, into practice through this technology, what we call Karma Kanda. And the beautiful way of converting it was called Tantra. This Tantra Shastra was used by everybody, by the yogis, by the Mimansakas, by the Sankhyas. Why? Because prana sedam vashet sarvam tridive yat pratishchitam. This beautiful thing which we understood, which we see in our Jnana Kanda, that is Upanishads. Prana is all pervading. Tridive yat pratishchitam. Whatever there is in all these three worlds is pervaded by this beautiful vital energy, which is the subtlest physical form, pranamaya. The pranamaya atman. And this prana was used to codify this vision and this theory into a technology which is called as Karma Kanda. And it is done at every level. At the individual level of Upasana, it is a Shodashopchara Puja. It is for the whole life. The Shodasha Sanskara, right from the beginning of Garbhadana and Punsavana, up to the Anteshti Sanskara, all these Karma Kandas, not only that, this beautiful way of putting the Bottu, the Ganda, Dattarajya has put in the Tripunda, Bhasma. There is a ritual for that. The technology was so beautifully developed. Sattva, Raja, Tama, this prana, everything. Who should use chandana? Who should use kunkuma? Who should use bhasma? How that bhasma should be prepared? Beautifully explained. A technology. That is Karma Kanda. And during the whole period of struggle of 1,000 years, when right from Muhammad bin Qasim, Bakhtiar Khilji, Taimur, Nadir Shah, all those Khiljis, Abdalis, these Gulams, everybody attacking, and before that Shaka, Hun, Kushan, Alexander and everybody. But within those attacks, when there was no time to hold Dharma Sabha and decide about whether to use right hand or the left hand for something or the other, what sustained Sanatana Dharma, Hindu Dharma, was this laid down Karma Kanda. Don't give up this Karma Kanda. We told our generation, you may not know the logic behind, you may not know the Shastra behind this Karma Kanda, but na buddhi bedam janayed ajnanam karma sangena. Bhagavan Shri Krishna said. Don't confuse them. Let them do the ritual. At least they will keep it live. Then some rishi will come and understand. I used to put this bottu, this chandana, tilaka, right from my childhood. It is my mother's teaching, sanskara. I asked her logically, science behind it. Tell me the science behind it. Why I should put, why it should be put between the Bhrumadhya, why it should be straight and things like that. And why only this material? She did not have answers. And I argued like every son said, if you don't tell me the real reason behind it, why should I do it? If jnana is not there, karma will not help. They told me. This modern education said, if you don't know why, the how will not help. It's not true. Know how is more important than know why. So rituals are the know-how of Sanatana Dharma. The real institutionalization of the Siddhanta through the pranic Shakti, through codification of prana, prana-baddha rituals, whether it is mantra or yantra, the basis is prana. This beautiful concept of prana. How this 33 crore pranas, this permutation combination of that vital energy, how that works. That prana vidya was lost during this period of struggle, and hence we lost the logic behind these rituals. But the British attacked rituals because they understood this is what sustains Sanatana Dharma. The common man does not know jnana behind it, but he nevertheless follows this ritual. And till this ritual is there, you cannot break the backbone of Hindu Dharma, the backbone of Vaidika Dharma, the backbone of Sanatana Dharma. So they created this narrative that Karma Kanda is what should be given up, is Tyajya. Jnana Kanda is important. Even our people, we see the how Arya Samaj was formed. We all have read the story of Maharishi Dayananda in the childhood doing puja and seeing the mouse and all that. Why should I do puja? Why this Shodashopchar? Why should I put milk on the Shivalinga? Questions, doubts. They created a doubt in the mind of the highest intelligentsia of this country. Grant Duff's downward filtration policy was applied by T.B. Macaulay. He said, Anglicize the Brahmin and the whole society will follow. If the Brahmin becomes corrupt, his mind becomes corrupt. If he doubts his own Shastras, so this confusion of Arjuna became the confusion of the whole nation. In second chapter, Krishna completes the whole Bhagavad Gita. He has given everything what is there in those 76 shlokas of second Adhyaya. The third Adhyaya begins with the question, that is confusion of Arjuna, who says, Jayasi chet karmanaste matabadhir janardana tatkim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi keshes. When you are saying jnana is more important than karma, why you are pushing me into this ghora karma of yuddha? Struggle. So karma is lower, jnana is higher. This kind of a narrative is there during Arjuna's time also. And Britishers used this narrative to denigrate, to destroy this beautiful parampara. They could not do it, thankfully, because only 12% they could literate in their British education. In 1823, 100% literacy. The beautiful tree of Dharmapal tells us. The British survey of Indian education tells us 100%, almost 93% in the north, 100% in the Madras presidency. And when we are independent in 1947, it is reduced to 12% literacy. Thankfully, only 12% got English education. Even today, after 200 years of thrusting this foreign language onto us, in which I am speaking today because of the want of communication, only 12% in last census said that they know English. They said that they know English. I doubt whether they know it or not. And because of that, Kumbha Mela is there. Because of that, all the rituals are still intact. Most of the Tantra Shastra, Shilpa Shastra, Agama Shastra is living. Most of the Karma Kanda is still practiced and alive. Most of the Karma Kanda is alive because it is the technology. It is what sustained Bharata through this period of struggle. Today the work is cut out for those who want to work in the field of Bharatiyata to bring back and re-establish it into the system. Re-establish it back into the mainstream. Though Quantitatively, this is the mainstream. But the dominant minority, what Arnold Toynbee said, the dominant minorities are Bharatiya. The dominant minority thinks not with this vision of Bharatiya. They look at the Advaita Vedanta also from the Western point of view. They don't understand Vedanta also. This is happening because in Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal, I always said, Macaulay Mukta education will happen if Macaulay Mukta Karyakarta becomes. The first task is to make yourself Macaulay Mukta. Even I am the product of Macaulay education. So even my thinking is many a times governed by those principles and those logic. Those principles of generalizing things. Those principles of trying to find a common thread. Not accepting diversity as it is, which is the Bharatiya way. Nanatva, Ekam Sat Vipraha is not just for the ultimate spiritual goals. Even for the mundane goals, monetary goals, allowed. We know the whole society will not rise to the Advaitic goal of moksha or mukti. We have all the four Purushartha Chatushtaya, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So there will be Artharthis, there will be Kamarthis, there will be people who will have desires at those levels. Rituals will help them also. It is not for just for religious people or spiritual people. It is also for the traders, for the merchants, for the profit seekers. That's why in every Vaishya's place of trade, that Vanijya Vritti, wherever it is there, that wherever this production is going on, in a Bharatiya concept, they will write Shubha Labha. The Labha has to be Shubha. It has to be righteous. And that's why ritual is created for that also. So Dhanarthi Labate, Vidyarthi Labate Vidya, Dhanarthi Labate Dhanam, Moksharthi Labate Moksha. So whatever may be your prayojana, whatever may be your purpose of worship, your purpose of karma kanda, your purpose of ritual, that's why Ravana could perform the ritual and get what he wanted. Indrajit could do that in Ramayana. You can be a tamasika, you can be a sattvika, you can be a rajasika seeker. You will get what you seek because it is a technology. Ritual is a technology. Technology will deliver. The mobile will be used by the Hawala people for their transactions, and the same mobile will be used in Arogya Setu by the Corona warriors. Mobile is the technology. So when the youth asks me about this dichotomy of jnana and karma kanda, if you cannot tell me the science behind why should I put tilaka or why should I keep shikha, why should I do it if I don't know the science? I don't keep on telling them the science behind it. I want them to seek the science. I am not against seeking the Shastra behind it. But Shastra is not needed. That's why Karma Kanda is there. Because the masses will not know Shastra. The masses will not know Jnana. The masses will not know the theory. Yet they should be able to practice. And that's why Karma Kanda came. This is the institutionalization part. So whenever somebody asks me about, you are putting the boat to, what is the jnana? If you tell me jnana, I will do it. I tell them, it is like saying, how many of you know the science of mobile? How many of you know VLSI technology, very large scale integration, how the microchip is made? How many of you can tell me how this audio visual of my lecture is converted into electromagnetic waves sent to the satellite and now coming to your mobile or your laptop? What is the science behind it? How many in the world know this science? And how millions and trillions of people use that mobile, that technology without knowing the science? Technology has to be user-friendly for those who do not know the science. In the same way, Karmakanda is for the masses who did not know the science, but yet should be apply it in their life. That is the purpose of Karmakanda. So to re-establish this glory of Bharata Mata, re-establish this Sanatana principle, the task before people like us is threefold. Number one, continue research and validation of all kinds of Karmakanda with a Shraddha, not with doubt. That is number one. Shraddha is essential. That is number one. All the research to be done has to be with Shraddha. And if it has to be with Shraddha, though it can be validated by the Western science, it should not be done with Western parameters. So the second task before Research for Resurgence Foundation created by Bharatiya Shikshan Manda or Indic Academy or Bharatiya Shikshan Manda or all such people working in this field is creating our own standards, creating our own parameters, creating our own research methodology with Bharatiya Nyaya Shastra, Mimamsa Shastra, our own parameters of judging the Karmakandas. And for that, we have to work in the field of Prana Vidya. The physical science, the pranic science has to become a physical science. The plasma technology, the microbiology, what this fight against virus, coronavirus may come out with, physics and electronics coming together with virology and bacteriology, microbiology. This is the time where we will be able to establish, we will be able to scale down prana. Prana can now be counted. If that happens, it will change the whole concept of Shastra, science in the modern world. So that is second thing. First is doing research, validating our Karma Kanda with Shraddha. Number two, creating our own standards. And number three, for that we'll have to, for creating the standard, we'll have to go to the Pranamaya. We'll have to do standardizing procedures, SOPs created in the Prana Vidya. Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal is working in that. We have created a Prana Vidya Parichaya Varga. You can go to my YouTube channel, Mukul Kanitkar, and find out these 6 lectures on Prana Vidya, in which you will get this detail behind the pranic Shastra of Karmakanda. And the third thing, which is most important, is creating awareness about our Karmakanda. Karmakanda should become fashion. Putting on shikha should become fashion. Putting on bottu ganda should become fashion. Wearing dhoti should become fashion. So branding of our Karmakanda, and many of the traditional Puritans will not agree with me, but Karmakanda is for the masses. We have to massify it. We have to take it to the masses. So Karmakanda should be massified. All these pujas, yajnas, beautiful festivals, sanskaras, ashrama dharmas, kula dharmas, everything should be publicized with the use of media, with the use of all this social media and everything that we have. Branding. These 3 tasks are cut out. Number 1 is research and validation of Karmakanda. Number 2, creating Bharatiya standards and Bharatiya research methodology based on Prana Vidya for validating the Karmakanda from our own method, our own vision. And the third is branding, creating a mass appeal and mass demand for this Karmakanda. This is my submission. I think I have taken exactly half an hour to explain this beautiful vision that we have in Bharatiya Shikshan Manda about the rituals. And I thank Harikiran Vadlamani, Professor Nagaraj Paturi and Sridharji for inviting me, and Gauri Mahulkarji for inviting me in this rituals, in this seminar or webinar on rituals, and giving me the chance to be the opening batsman. It is easier for the opening batsman, though there are bouncers, but those can be ducked. So I think thank you for giving me this chance to set the tone of the discussions and let the Shastrartha go on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mukulji. Thank you very much. It was really wonderful to listen to you, and I really like the way you were talking about how the know-how was sometimes as important or even more important than the know-why, especially when it comes to the karma kanda, because you need to get into it, you need to lay the foundation. And I like the way you put it. I mean, if you do it, a rishi will come. In fact, the rishi jnana can be awakened in you, within you. I mean, that's what our tradition teaches us. Nagraji, you want to say something before we go on to the next stage? And
Definitely, I join you in thanking Mukulji. It was a highly inspiring and invigorating speech. It has definitely laid the foundation for all the discussions. All the lines that have to be taken by the panelists have been laid very well by Mukulji. Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking out your time for joining us and providing this inspiring and invigorating speech. Thank you.
we can, in fact, Mukulji, if you can just hold on. Harikanji was just suggesting that we can take one or two quick questions before we move on. In case any of our participants, we've got a max of, I think, 300 odd participants. So if anyone wants to sort of digitally raise their hand and put in a question or two to Mukulji, I think we can actually do it. So
I have no objection.
Colleague to sort of, I do see a raised hand from Kumar. I see more raised hands. So maybe we can start with the first one, and maybe we can. I request you to be very brief and very pointed, and specify exactly what you would like to know, so that we can do a very quick Q&A with 2 or 3 people.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, namaste, all of you. I wanted to know, how are the qualities like Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva are related to this caste or Jati or Varna?
I think this is will be digressing from the topic of the day. So let us not get into that. I will just say, sticking to the topic, the rituals of Varna Dharma were according to the psyche of that Varna, which was based on Guna Karma. So Guna is Sattva Raja Tama. Based on that, the Varna Dharma rituals were to be conducted. So for the rituals, I use this Sattva Raja Tama, which are the charges of prana. The prana is charged in a Rajasic way, or Tamasic way, or the Sattvika way, depending on the three things, that is direction, disha, laya, the frequency, and the speed, the velocity of the prana. It becomes Sattvika, Rajasika, or Tamasika. Depending on that, these rituals were constructed. So I use the gunas for the ritual part, not the what kind of a material should be used, what kind of the samidha should be used in which yasti, what kind of bhasma should be, vibhuti should be used in what kind of worship. So for that, the Sattva Rajatama, depending on the artha, that is prayojana, that is the purpose of the ritual. So I was referring to that. In Varna, it is related to Guna Karma Vibhagasha. So Varna rituals were depending upon those Sattva Rajatama qualities.
The next participant, please.
Present, I have no doubt. I just wanted to convey my gratitude to you. The presentation was wonderful. The present generation, even our period, we were blindly believing whatever the elders say, and we were doing the rituals, whatever they said. The present generation, especially the science students, they don't believe the rituals. How to bring them to our culture, to follow our rituals or something?
There are two ways, because this today's education system is totally directed to the head. It is Tarka Pradhana. It is more directed towards intellectuals. I usually do this experiment. These are two pens that I am holding before the camera. You can see these two pens. And I ask the modern educated person, please compare what comes to all of our mind. What comes to our mind is one is blue, the other is red or something. One is of this company, the other is of this company. And all kinds of differences come to our mind. That is how our intellect works. It differentiates. Comparing is not the differentiation. Comparing should include commonalities. Both are pen. Both are used for writing. Both have gel ink. So that was also part of comparison, but it doesn't come to our mind. This is what has been inculcated way of thinking has been inculcated by this modern education in our mind. And that's why, while explaining to our next generation, we'll have to keep this background in mind, that they have been given this training of finding differences. So you'll have to give the real essence and tarka of the ritual. That is one of the important things. But like I said, I don't argue about the tarka. I say first practice and experience. What happens by putting tilaka? Do it every day and you will know the difference. Because anubhuti is only way of knowledge. Knowledge can be by anubhuti only. And anubhuti is done by heart. What joins is heart. Head distinguishes, heart joins. So sneha is the only way. Do it because I am telling you. And you use the word we were following blindly. No, you were more open-minded. The today's science-trained generation is more blind. They are not open-minded. They are not ready to experiment.
Yes, true.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Friend, please.
Thank you, sir.
Could we take one last question, Nagaraj, before moving on?
Yeah. One last question.
Yes, Harshvardhan.
Yes,
Please.
Harshvardhan.
Yes, sir. I am Harshvardhan, student of University of Hyderabad. And sir, that was really a very insightful talk. And what made me happy that you also discussed about Nalanda University, which was demolished by the invaders. So people have mostly forgotten it, and people are taking it as granted. So you discussed that point. I think that will make all of us aware that just constructing institutions, educational institute is not important. Protecting them is also important, and that can also happen if we preserve our culture and tradition.
Yes, I totally agree with you.
So moving ahead, sir, I would like to you mention that we should create our own research method. Sir, now I'm putting out my question for you. Sir, you just mentioned that we should create our own research methodology and parameters. So, sir, my question is, can you please elaborate that how can we create our own research methodology and parameter? I think you did not discuss about it.
We are working on that. We have created a foundation called Research for Resurgence Foundation, because it was not today's topic. So I just mentioned the need of creating our own methodologies. Taittiriya Upanishad is very beautifully explains some 12, 13 research methodologies. And we are working on that, creating our own methodologies and our own scales. Scales and parameters are more important than methodology. Methodology we have ready-made. But for the scale, like this Sattva Rajatama, this guna scale, can we create a guna scale? Can we measure why Tulsi is Sattvika, why Chandan is Sattvika, and why the cat is considered to be Tamasika? Why? So can we have that scale by which the prana guna trilogy can be measured? That measurement scale is the most important impediment in finding our own research methodology as far as rituals are considered. Somebody in the chat has also asked this question about Prana Vidya. You can start with some beautiful books by Bihar School of Yoga, Munger. Swami Satyananda and Swami Niranjanananda, Swami Muktananda, three of them have written book on Prana Vidya. Very beautiful books on Prana Vidya. Then Prashnopanishad and Chandogya Upanishad have got very beautiful study of what really prana stands for. There is one Aushasti Pada Akhyana in Chandogya Upanishad, which talks about Vaishwanara Sadhana, which is most importantly related to the Prana Vidya. My lectures in YouTube are in Hindi on Prana Vidya. We are also coming out with book. There is one book by very beautiful book in Hindi on Prana Vidya, which was out of print, so we are reprinting it. It was written by one of the greatest greatest writers of 19th century, Satavalekarji. That book is Prana Vidya Part 1. We could get hold of that manuscript. Prana Vidya Part 2 is not there. We are publishing that Satavalekarji's Prana Vidya Part 1 with additional comments, whatever new things have come out. I think work on Prana Vidya is very, very important. We have MOU with many universities Two of the AMUs are with the animal husbandry universities in Jabalpur and in Mathura. So in that side, the veterinary side, lot of work can be done in prana. The human medical people may not agree because they are engaged in fighting corona, TB and many other things. The veterinary people can go more deeper into the plasma and microbiology part of it, where we can get some measurable things about prana. Kirlion photography was one accident which was used by many yogis, but it is a total humbug. It is not prana, it is bioenergy, different from prana. So the prana measurement will be the main breakthrough in the research of rituals. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mukul ji.